Hi, this is Jim Mann with Homestyle Southern Cooking. We'll bring you another fall recipe. Like I told you, I have so many fall recipes to bring you. Today is going to be an apple pie cake. And this is something that's so simple to make, and people won't believe that how good it is. We'll start off simply. First, I've got 4 apples here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my apples and I'm just going to peel them. I hope I'm going to peel them. And we get all 4 apples peeled. I love, like I tell you, I love fall of the years. I love apples and pumpkin, and I've got so many different things that I make this time of year that I don't know why I don't make them the other time of the years, because, you know, apples are in year round. I make apple pies year round, but this is something I usually just make in the fall of the year. And I don't know why. I ask myself sometimes, because I know a lot of people do not make pumpkin pies and things like that until Thanksgiving or the fall of the year. Not me. I make something pumpkin almost every week, year round. So I'm just, I don't know why, but anyhow. All right, that's one. Let me get all my other 3 apples peeled, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, I've got my 4 apples peeled, and what I'm going to do now is I've got just a bowl, and this is how I'm going to slice my apples. I'm going to take my peeler, and I'm going to slice it just like this. I'm going to do each apple like this. I'm going to shave it down. You see, that's about the thickness I want it. So I'm going to do each apple all the way to the core. Okay, I've got my first one done, okay? And what I did earlier, I took a lime. Just a medium lime, and I took the juice of half of it, and I'm going to take this juice now, I'm going to pour over the apples. And the reason why I'm going to do that is as I add my apples, this will keep my apples from turning brown. So I'm going to go ahead and finish peeling the rest of them. Okay, I've got all my 4 apples peeled, and I'm just stirring around in the lemon juice. And now I'm going to set this aside for a second, and I'm going to bring out my bowl for my ingredients. Okay, now for my ingredients, I've got 1.5 cups of flour. I'm going to put the 1.5 cups of flour in here. To that, I'm going to add 3 eggs. That's 1. This is 2. And then 3. 3 eggs. Set that out of the way. To that, I've got 1/2 cup of milk. Pour my 1/2 cup of milk in here. Now I've got 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. Put 1/2 cup of vegetable oil in here. And I've got 1/2 cup of sugar. Put 1/2 cup of sugar. To that, I've got 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder. Put that in here. And remember, I took my lemon and I put the juice in there. Well, I zested the other half also, and I took the zest of the other half of the lemon, and I'm gonna put the zest in here, right in here also. And not the last thing, but I'm gonna put about 1/2 teaspoon of apple spice seasoning in here, and I get the label out of here. Okay. And then I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Two teaspoons of vanilla. Okay. Now I can set all this stuff out of the way. And then we'll get my trusty hand mixer here. Mix this up a little bit and turn it on. Okay, now that I've got that mixed, I'm gonna take my tines out, set my beater aside. Okay, now I've got my batter and I've got my apples. Now I call this my apple pie cake. Now I could put this into a cake pan, but since I call it my apple pie cake, I always like to take it and put it into a pie pan. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna really generously butter this pie bowl, this pie pan. This is such a tasty treat for the fall of the year. Make sure you get all around on the sides also. Okay, now my pie pan. Now my oven's been preheating at 350 degrees. I'm gonna set this aside for a second. I'm gonna actually take my apples, and I'm gonna take my apples and I'm gonna pour them right in here to my batter. Get all my apples in here. Boy, I love the smell of apples, and like I said, all the fall smells, the cinnamon and everything smells so good together. And then I'm gonna stir this around really well. And you wanna make sure that you stir this extremely well. You wanna make sure that you get every apple piece with some batter on it. So I'm just gonna stir and pull it off the side until I get it all, make sure that I have it all stirred together. Like I said, if you want to put this in a cake pan, you can, but since I call it my apple pie cake, I prefer to use my pie pan. And then I'm going to pour it right into my pie pan. You'll have to admit that looks good with all those apples. And if you could smell it, the cinnamon and the apples and everything, it smells wonderful. Okay. Then I'm going to sort of just push this on the top a little bit. And like I tell you, my oven is set on 350 degrees, and I'm gonna bake this for about 35 minutes. And when it's finished baking, I'm coming back to you. Hi, welcome back. Our apple pie cake was in the oven for 35 minutes. It's been out and it's cooled down some. And now I want to share it with you. So it's still a little warm. I should have probably let it cool down a little bit more, but I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Get my maybe this piece would be easy to get out. Yeah, let's get this one out. And there we go. There is our apple pie cake. Now I could eat it just like this, or I could put a scoop of ice cream on it, or if I want to take a little bit of powdered sugar, I can put some powdered sugar on top of it. I could do that to the whole thing if I wanted to. Or if I wanted to, I could get some Cool Whip or some Ready Whip, either one, and take and just put a dollop right on the top of it here. So you could put ice cream, you could put, Cool Whip on top, whatever you want to put on there. You could put powdered sugar. It's just as moist as an apple pie. And you can taste just as many apples as an apple pie. I know that's hard to believe, but I don't know if you can see all the big pieces of apple. Just like an apple pie. What a quick, wonderful fall recipe. This is one that you really, really need to try. Thank you so much for having me back in your house today. I appreciate it so much. You let me in and you let me share time with you, and I appreciate that. Try this fall recipe. I've got many more to bring you. Until next time, this is Jim in Mexico saying, I really care for you. I send you a great big hug, and God bless.